2023 has been one of the best years for video games. We got smash hits like Forspoken, Redfall, The Lord of the Rings Golem, and oh wait, did I say best? I meant worst. 2023 was the worst year ever for gaming. Period. Despite this year being packed with some of the best titles in a few years, we also got some massive duds. Unfortunately, it's not just bad video games ruining the industry. There has been mass firings, studios closing down, people getting scammed, and even large industry events with decades of renown going down the toilet. And I actually think this might be one of the worst years for the gaming industry as a whole. Let's start off with the bad video games, and I'm talking about the really bad ones. Like if Superman 64 and Sonic 06 had a baby kind of bad. The year started off strong with the newest Lord of the Rings game. Now, this studio, Daedalic Entertainment, got the rights to the Lord of the Rings, right? And who do they choose to star in this game? Was it Aragorn, Legolas, Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, Monty Python and the Holy Grail's Black Knight? No. They chose Golem. I mean, look at him. He's the kind of guy that would get picked last for kickball in elementary school. And I would know. I was that kid. But hey, it could work, right? Stealth game mixed with some platforming. Maybe like a karma-based system where you choose between good guy Smeagol and bad guy Golem. I can see it working out if it was a low budget, low stakes, and oh my goodness!
Squidward!
Alright, so that game bombed so hard that they actually had to put an apology letter shortly after release. And, I mean, it happens. A game can launch buggy and still be good, right? And hey, everyone's already forgiven Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky, and they had terrible launches. It can even win Game of the Year nominee, even though the game came out in 2020. Well, apologies always help, right? Well, maybe the apology wasn't written by ChatGPT. And no, I'm not joking. I kind of wish I was, but you can't make this up. Now, why do they think it was written by AI? Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that they spelled the name of their game wrong in the first sentence? It almost makes me wonder if the concept of the game was also written by ChatGPT. But alright, we bullied the poor guy hard enough. After all, the studio doesn't even exist anymore. Let's take a look at another bad game. Which one's gonna be the punching bag today? Oh, Skull Island, Rise of Kong. Oh boy, let me hit you with this clip. And before you say anything, yes, that is a real clip from the game. No, I didn't add that JPEG in as a gag, and yes, that JPEG doesn't even fit properly across the screen. Yeah. But Cow-sama, you may say, that's only one bad game. Bad games come out all the time. That doesn't make this year the worst year ever in video games. Well, my cattle, you're right. But it's not just one bad game. These games, however, have huge IPs attached to them. The Lord of the Rings films won 17 Oscars. 17 right here. And listen, I don't think Golem's gonna win that many awards at the Game Awards. Although I would love to see them get nominated for Best Esports Coach. After all, Golem coached as much as ZTQZZZ did, and he got nominated for Best Coach. Again, I'm not lying to you. You just can't make this up. Games based off of big, huge IPs with highly successful and critically acclaimed films that actually turn out to be absolute shit shows are the exact reason why video games crashed in America back in the 80s. Now, I ain't saying there's gonna be another crash, but what I am saying is it's not a good sign. Alright, what do we got next? Ooh, The Walking Dead. This series is ripe for bad media. You don't even have to look at games for that. Ooh. Welcome to Jeopardy! The game show that I've watched once as a kid. And here are your categories. Alright, FemCoco. I'll take bad video games for 1600, Coco. Alright, to the video game from the Walking Dead franchise with the lowest Metascore. What is Overkill's The Walking Dead? Ooh, sorry, that's not the right answer, despite the low score. What is The Walking Dead Survival Instinct? Ooh, good try, but even though its rating is an incredibly low 32, it's still not the worst one. What is The Walking Dead Destinies? There you have it, correct! With $500, you can now buy a vowel! I don't watch Jeopardy. I don't really know how it works. Oh, you think companies trying to make a quick buck just using famous IPs were the only bad games this year? No. Turns out big video game companies are also turning out big doo-doo this year. And when I say big, I mean big. Like $7.5 billion big. That's bigger than Star Wars.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, we're talking about Red Bull. You know, the game that everyone knew was gonna be bad before it came out. The one where Phil fucking Spencer, the man in charge of Xbox, came out and said it was bad. Yeah, when your boss says your game is bad, like, publicly, then yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Then there's Forspoken. Oh, man, I nominate Square for the worst publisher if it weren't for the JRPGs. And even then, it's not doing enough heavy lifting for them. Square releases dud after dud after dud. Babylon's Fall and Avengers both shut down this year. And, well, just look at Forspoken's scores. Forspoken's scores! Why is it so hard to say? And, well, just look at Forspoken's scores for yourself. That took, like, 5 different takes to say. Not to mention Call of Duty scores. The game that got roasted publicly in front of the Game Awards.
My speech was actually longer than this year's Call of Duty campaign. What?
Oh! Side note, Call of Duty devs did not like this joke, which makes the joke actually even funnier. And that's just me talking about like the really bad games. There's plenty of, well, not bad, but very mid games that came out this year. While companies like Nintendo and Capcom are putting out arguably their best games in their respective franchises, Sega and Bethesda are putting out, they're not bad, but they're not putting out their A game, that's for sure. Lucy, can you explain what's happening?
I don't know.
Well, we're both gonna drown.
Oh my.
So yeah, lots of bad games this year. I'm not forgetting anything, am I? Oh, wait. The Day Before. Well, if The Day Before was playing golf, they'd be golden. The studio that produced The Day Before got shut down after just 4 days after release.
Already? That's an Academy record.
Now, the worst part about these bad games are the poor devs who had to make them. I'm sure that every dev on every one of those games I mentioned didn't set out to make a bad game. It's not like they all sit together in a meeting and are like, alright, we need to make the shittiest game known to man. What do we do? Bad graphics, shitty gameplay. What if we just made a good game? Yeah, it doesn't work like that. I really feel sorry for the devs that spent years of their life to release a game that they probably knew was bad from the start. Or maybe it even started off as bad, but for one reason or another, it just didn't work out. These devs are working long, shitty hours, dealing with shitty management, and then only to get fired shortly afterwards? And when I say shortly, I mean shortly. You know what happened to the studio behind Golem? They got shut down. Redfall? While that game was being made, the devs left in droves. Hardly anyone who made their old games are even there anymore. Embracer Group? The people that keep buying all of the IPs that no AAA company wants? And those games totally deserve a home. is closing studios left and right. First, Volition, the people who made Saints Row, and now the devs behind the Time Splitters remake, who didn't even get to release their first game. Sega is firing people, Epic didn't give How to Have a Boyfriend a dime since making them Epic Store exclusive. Over 6,000 game industry jobs were lost in 2023. In October! And what makes it even sadder is that these layoffs aren't only coming from the bad video games or the bad studios. No, some of the best-selling games, the largest publishers making the biggest dollars, are firing anyone to pump up those numbers. I want to make a joke here, but like, unfortunately the joke is on us. It's really bad out there, and I feel sorry for the devs out there, and well, I think he put it best.
I think, yes, it is an amazing year for video games to come out. I think it's not a great year for video games insofar as all of the layoffs. I think it's not great for that, and I think that does need to be spoken about at an event like this. I think we want to celebrate all of these games, but maybe there is something missing because a lot of people who made those games are no longer working at those companies, and I think that also has to be respected. So yeah, 2023 is an astonishing year for the video games that have been made, but not necessarily for the industry that it reflects.
I saw this video after the disastrous Game Awards event where they did not acknowledge the state of the industry. You know, the celebration of video games that Jeff Keighley keeps talking about. They failed to mention all the poor devs that lost jobs in 2023. Well, after that very depressing section, let's talk about something that we can definitely make jokes about. The Game Awards. Which, if you think about it, is a joke in of itself. Now, the Game Awards is something I watch every year, but I try not to take too seriously. I try. It's always been evident that the Game Awards is a trailer reel first and an award show second. But this year was unabashedly bad. Oh god, where do I even start? How about we start with, the first award this year. So, God of War guy, Christopher Judge, he comes up to announce the winner of this year's Best Actor. Makes sense, he won last year. However, last year at the Game Awards, this guy, probably coked out of his mind, spent 8 minutes on stage to give a rambling speech. Now, fast forward to this year, 2023, he makes a joke about how long his speech was last year.
I have such great memories of last year, Mr. Pacino, forgetting to thank my wife.
So after Judge makes his comment and he announces the award winner, gives him the award, the guy who gets the award starts to make his speech, and after 30 seconds, while he was talking heartfeltly, the music starts to play.
To my agents, I will thank you later. I'm sorry, I'm gonna wrap it up apparently.
I thought it was a joke. No, literally, I actually thought it was a joke about how long Judge's speech was, so they play the music only 30 seconds in, to make fun of the fact that Judge took so long. It doesn't help this was the first award that they gave out, so I thought that's kind of the joke. But no, it turns out 30 seconds is the allotted time for the award winner speeches. So the Game Award winners have to scramble out a quick speech like it's a fucking WarioWare minigame. So while we have actors like Mackie doing his worst Keanu Reeves impression for like 6 fucking minutes, we have legendary game director and producer of fucking Zelda, Nomura, have 30 seconds of talking. Keep in mind, they clearly didn't think about how Japanese devs need to have more time to talk on stage, because they have to be translated. They need to have the time for the Japanese devs to go, "Konnichiwa," and the English devs to go, "Hello there." And this celebrity worship needs to stop. They gave 10 minutes on stage for Hideo Kojima and people to talk about quite literally nothing, and I wish I was joking. If you're curious about how much that compares to award winners, Hideo Kojima had more stage time than the winner's speeches combined. Yeah. So to top it all off, the final Game of the Year award, who do they bring out to, announce and give it to? This guy from Wonka, because that movie came out like a week or two after the award show, so they had to advertise that. And I know what you're gonna say, but Cal-sama, he loves video games. Bitch, so do I. They ain't gonna put me up there just because I play video games. That's obviously not their intention. Man, what a shit show. Thank God we at least have E3 to pick up the slack, right? Oh. Right. God is dead, and you killed him. Not really. E3 killed themselves. I know the writing on the wall was there for like literally years, but it makes me sad to see what it's become. But what do we have instead? Oh, it's Jeff Keighley, the Game Awards guy. He has Gamescom, where they bring The Rock to advertise soda?
Powered by, of course, Zoa Energy.
Hello? Now, this is something I definitely don't want to waste any more time on. But it's a shame too, because there are so many wonderful, great moments from E3. Like the memes.
Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. The stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
Although this year's Game Awards had a great meme, so I had that going for it. Man, this video was kind of a bummer. I don't like to be a negative Nancy all the time, but I'm being hard on the game industry because I love video games. Don't you also love things that make you hard? Wait, what? Well, my next video will be a bit more positive. It'll be the best games I played in 2023, so it'll be me a bit more happy and excited. In fact, part of the reason why I made this video is because I wanted to touch on these topics before my best games of 2023, but that section ended up going way, way too long. In fact, there was more to this video I didn't even get to talk about. For example, I didn't even mention the emergence of AI and its impact, which is probably an entire video in of itself. But what do you think? Was 2023 the worst year of gaming? Were there other years that were even worse? I don't know. You tell me. Let me know in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe. God, I really hate saying that, but I'm a really, really small channel, and little things like that help immensely, so please do that. And I really hope you guys like this video. It's my first time making a video like this, and it took an entire month to make. My normal content are clips and edits from my stuff on Twitch, which you can follow in the link below. But if you guys like this kind of content, I can make more on other topics. Anyways, this outro was long enough, so if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you so much for watching.